The Naval Security Complex at Fort Kingsley was a place built on discipline, precision, and quiet power. High concrete walls ringed the perimeter. Cameras watched every inch. Inside these walls were the men and women trained to operate where diplomacy couldn't reach and where enemies expected no one. Among them walked Commander Evelyn Hart, lean, quiet, silver at the temples, and sharper than the edge of a combat knife. Most of the younger soldiers barely noticed her when she passed. She moved like a shadow, spoke only when necessary, and rarely looked directly at anyone unless absolutely required. It helped her blend. It also helped people underestimate her. What almost nobody on base knew, except the highest clearance officers, was that Commander Hart had spent 20 years in the Navy SEALs, with 10 of those years inside DevGru, better known to the world as SEAL Team 6. The kind of ops she'd seen were sealed in black folders. The kind of kills she had made would never appear in books, movies, or records, because they weren't supposed to exist. But Evelyn wasn't arrogant about any of it. She wasn't theatrical. She wasn't the kind of soldier who barked orders or flexed rank. She was calm, precise, and dangerously patient. That was why, on a rainy December afternoon, when 3 young infantry soldiers swaggered into the women's changing room, laughing, arguing, and playing tough, they had no idea that they were walking into a storm disguised as a middle-aged woman tying her boots. They were bored, restless, and stupid, a combination as old as war itself. 1. The changing room. The room was mostly quiet except for the hum of the air vent and the dull patter of rain against the metal roof. Evelyn sat on the bench, tightening her boot laces, checking the tension with the practiced pull of someone who didn't just wear boots, she lived in them. Her duffel rested by her feet. A clean uniform hung in an open locker beside her. She had just finished a 3-hour medical briefing with base doctors, routine checkups required for special operations personnel, even veterans. She was about to stand when the door burst open. 3 soldiers stumbled in. Young, muscular, sweating testosterone and immaturity. One of them, the tallest, with a shaved head and the posture of someone who didn't understand posture, froze when he saw her. Wrong room, the shortest muttered. The tall one smirked. Nah, this one's empty enough. Who's gonna complain? Her. He jerked his thumb at Evelyn like she was a piece of equipment. The third soldier laughed. Relax, she's old. She ain't gonna do anything. Evelyn didn't look at them. She simply continued tying her second boot, fingers steady, expression unchanged. For a moment, the 3 stared at her. The room smelled like sweat, wet uniforms, and trouble. Hey, shaved head said, stepping forward, you deaf? Evelyn finally looked up. Calm eyes. Neutral. This is the women's changing room. And, he asked, grinning, and you need to leave. The shortest soldier snorted. Or what? The tall one stepped closer, stopping less than 2 feet from her. He bent slightly, his face inches from hers. Or you'll do what, Grandma? Silence. Evelyn didn't blink. Please leave. He laughed. Say, please, again. That was when the second one closed the door behind them. A click echoed. The sound of an idiot sealing his own fate. 2. Disrespect has consequences. The 3 soldiers now spread slightly around her, forming a loose half-circle. They weren't trying to kill her. They weren't even fully trying to hurt her. They thought they were intimidating a quiet, older woman, a woman alone. Evelyn had seen this behavior in villages, in foreign armies, in militia groups. She had seen it on the faces of enemy fighters right before she took them down. The arrogance, the entitlement, the belief that they were safe because they misunderstood their target. The tall one crouched beside her. Sweetheart, you in the wrong room. Dress somewhere else. The second one, louder, dumber, added, unless you wanna give us a show. The youngest soldier didn't speak. He simply crossed his arms and watched, as if evaluating what would happen next. Evelyn remained seated, calm, controlled, preventing escalation. Last warning, she said softly. Leave the room. The tall one reached out and flicked the side of her face with 2 fingers. A disrespectful tap. Evelyn didn't move, but something cold settled inside her. Something ancient. Something she had spent years mastering so it would only rise when necessary. Did you just flick me? She asked quietly. Yeah, he sneered. You gonna do something? The second soldier laughed and, in a moment he would regret for the rest of his life. He reached behind Evelyn and grabbed the collar of her shirt. "Why don't you stand up when we talk to you?" The youngest soldier shifted nervously. "Guys, maybe just leave her alone." But the other two were too far gone in their performance. "You heard us," Shaved Head said. "FCK off. This room is ours now." Then he put a hand on her shoulder and pushed. Not hard. Just enough. A gesture meant to humiliate. And the other soldier tightened his grip on her shirt. It was a mistake. A fatal one. For their egos, careers, and illusions of strength. 3. The storm breaks. Evelyn stood. Not fast. Not dramatic. Not loud. But with a controlled, terrifying stillness that made the youngest soldier take a step back. "Take your hands off me," she said. The tall one grinned and pushed her again. "Make me." He never finished the sentence. Evelyn moved, but not like a normal person. She moved with precision, the way a seal moved when trained muscle memory took control. The kind of movement that came from thousands of hours of drills, deployments, and life-or-death missions. The kind of movement these boys had never seen. Before the tall soldier could blink, Evelyn had his wrist in a lock, his elbow bent backward, and his knees collapsing from the sudden shock of pain. She didn't break his arm, though she easily could have. She didn't slam him into the locker, though he would have deserved it. She simply redirected his momentum, spun him, and dropped him flat on his stomach. The breath left his body in a pathetic gasp. The second soldier lunged. It was an untrained, angry, clumsy move, all biceps and zero technique. Evelyn sidestepped, grabbed his shoulder, and guided him directly into the metal lockers. He collapsed with a dull clang, groaning. The youngest froze, eyes wide. What are you?" he stammered. Evelyn looked at him. "Smarter than you. Sit down." He sat immediately. The tall soldier wheezed on the floor. "What the hell? Who are you?" Evelyn didn't answer. She simply stepped back, giving them space. The room went still. The storm inside her, that disciplined, lethal instinct, settled again. She breathed out slowly. "Get up," she told them. None of them moved. "I said get up." They staggered to their feet, avoiding her eyes. "You came into the wrong room," she said. "And you chose the wrong person to disrespect." The tall one rubbed his wrist. We didn't know." "No," she agreed coldly. "You didn't. 4. The truth revealed. A knock hit the door. Hard, sharp, authoritative. It opened a moment later and in stepped Master Chief Douglas Hale, a broad-shouldered, stern-faced man known throughout the base for his no-nonsense leadership. He saw the three soldiers. He saw Evelyn standing calmly. He saw the dent in the lockers. He understood enough. "Commander Hart," he said. "Master Chief. Everything under control." "Yes," she answered simply. The three soldiers stared at her in shock. "Commander," the youngest whispered. "One of the most decorated operators this base has ever had," Hale said, stepping inside. 20 years in the SEAL teams. 10 of them inside DevGru. She's forgotten more combat than you three will ever see. Silence. The tall soldier looked like he had been punched again. Evelyn didn't smile. She didn't enjoy their humiliation. She didn't mock them. Instead she said something they didn't expect. "I'm giving you a chance." The soldiers looked up. "Report to the disciplinary office," she said. "All three of you. Right now. Tell them everything. And accept whatever punishment they decide." "But you could have us discharged," the shortest whispered. "Yes," Evelyn said honestly. "I could. Why don't you?" She took a slow breath. "Because you're young, stupid, and salvageable." Their eyes widened. No drill sergeant in their lives had ever done that for them. "But make no mistake," she continued. "If you ever do something like this again, to anyone, your career's end." "Understood." "Yes, ma'am," all three shouted at once. "Now go." They practically ran out of the room. When the door shut, Master Chief Hale crossed his arms. "You handled that well." "I handled it the only way I could," she replied. "You didn't have to go easy on them. They're soldiers," she said quietly. "Not enemies. I don't destroy soldiers unless I have to." Hale nodded. "Still," he said, "those boys have no idea how lucky they are. If it had been any other SEAL, they'd be in the hospital," she finished. They both knew it was true. 5. Aftermath. Later that evening, Evelyn walked across the base toward her quarters. Rain had stopped, but the sky still hung heavy with clouds. As she approached the barracks, she heard voices. The 3 soldiers, standing outside, waiting. When they saw her, they straightened instantly. Commander Hart, the tall one said, "We're sorry." The youngest added, "We shouldn't have been there. We shouldn't have touched you. We shouldn't have." Evelyn raised a hand. "Apologizing is good, but change is better." They nodded rapidly. "We will, ma'am," the shortest said. "We promise." Evelyn studied them. Their faces, their fear, their guilt. They weren't evil, just foolish, untaught, unshaped. "Come here tomorrow morning," she said. 0500. Their eyes widened. "For what?" the tall one asked cautiously. "For training. Training with you," the youngest squeaked. "Yes," she said simply. They exchanged horrified glances. "Don't be late," she added. She walked away before they could respond. 6:0500 hours. The lesson begins. At 5 in the morning, the sky still dark, the 3 soldiers stood on the training field shivering in the cold wind. Evelyn approached silently. "Today," she said, "we start with 3 things you're missing: discipline, humility, and awareness." For the next 2 hours, she put them through drills that were not violent, not punishing, but deeply corrective. Situational awareness drills, control drills, de-escalation training, hand-to-hand technique that required respect for partners. She didn't shout, she didn't belittle, she didn't dominate, she taught. And slowly, very slowly, the boys' arrogance cracked and something better began to form. By sunrise, they were exhausted, drenched in sweat, and standing straighter than the day before. "Tomorrow," Evelyn said, 0500 again. "Yes, ma'am." They meant it this time. 7. 3 months later, rumors spread across the base. The 3 troublemakers. They weren't troublemakers anymore. They were sharper, faster, more disciplined. Other soldiers noticed the change in their posture, their respect, their quiet focus. One day in the cafeteria, the youngest soldier told a friend, "It wasn't fear that changed us. It was realizing she didn't destroy us when she had every reason to." Another added, "She didn't punish us. She rebuilt us." And the tall one, the most stubborn of them all, said something even more surprising. "Commander Hart didn't just teach us fighting. She taught us what strength actually looks like." Word spread further, and without intending to, Evelyn became a mentor. Not a loud one, not a dramatic one, but a necessary one. 8. The promotion ceremony. 3 months after the changing room incident, the base held a ceremony to award exceptional performance. Evelyn stood quietly among the officers. To her surprise, all 3 soldiers were called forward. For exemplary improvement, discipline, and outstanding conduct, the announcer said, Privates Thompson, Reyes, and Miller are awarded commendations. The crowd applauded. The soldiers stood proud. As they stepped down from the podium, they passed by Evelyn. All 3 stopped. "Commander," the tall one said, voice steady, "thank you for everything." Evelyn nodded once. "Make sure you keep earning it," she replied. "We will," the youngest said. They walked away. Not boys anymore, but soldiers. 9. Evelyn's reflection. That night, Evelyn sat alone outside the barracks, watching the stars emerge through the break in the clouds. She wasn't thinking about the fight. She wasn't thinking about the punishment. She wasn't even thinking about the past. She was thinking about something Master Chief Hale had once told her. Sometimes the hardest battles SEALs face aren't on foreign soil. They're right here, shaping the next generation. She had never wanted to be a teacher. She had never sought the role. But life had a way of training you for things you didn't choose. And in that changing room, she realized that strength wasn't always about breaking enemies. Sometimes it was about rebuilding allies. 10. Legacy. Over the next year, the 3 soldiers rose rapidly through training levels. 2 of them entered advanced infantry certification. 1 requested transfer to Special Operations Pipeline. Each one credited Evelyn Hart. But she didn't bask in praise. She didn't tell the story. She didn't boast. She simply continued walking the base with quiet steps and sharp eyes. The kind of soldier whose presence alone corrected posture and silenced arrogance. The kind of leader who earned respect not through fear, but through example. The kind of warrior whose history was written in classified files, but whose legacy was written in the men and women she influenced. Epilogue. A simple warning. Months later, a new recruit tried to flirt aggressively with her outside the gym. Before Evelyn said a word, the tall soldier appeared behind the recruit and whispered. "Don't." "Why?" the recruit asked. "Because that woman," the soldier said, "is the reason I became a man worth following. And because if you disrespect her." He paused. "You won't survive the lesson." Evelyn rolled her eyes. "Thompson," she said, "don't scare the recruits." "Yes, ma'am," he said, smiling. The recruit stared at her, suddenly realizing the truth. Something unspoken, something powerful. Commander Evelyn Hart wasn't just a former SEAL. She wasn't just DevGru. She wasn't just a legend. She was the kind of person who changed the shape of the world around her. One mistake, one lesson, one soldier at a time. If you want to see even better stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and press the bell icon for more updates.